We are 4 wins away from the Newfoundland Growlers winning the ECHL championship. Who's with me?
Yeah, I'm here, and I already said that I'm going to buy a hat if they win the championship.
Okay, I'm just kidding. The Toronto Raptors are 1 win away from making it to the dance, finally, the NBA Finals. This is episode 20, season 2 of the Teal SportsTalk podcast. I'm your co-host, Evan Brown. That's your host, James Price. And what a moment. Tonight, 8:30, is it 8:30?
8:30 tip-off.
8:30 tip-off. The Raptors can make history. First finals appearance ever.
And it'd be you showed me something on the score, and the last time a Toronto sports team clinched a finals berth at home was the Leafs back in 1993,
which we weren't even born.
And
we weren't even thought of.
Out of the big major sports teams in Toronto, which TFC fans, I'm sorry, I guess that's not considered.
And Argo fans.
Well, okay, that's not a major sports. We all know that.
Well, and TFC isn't either.
Right, but at least there's 30 teams in that league.
Well, I guess.
I mean, but for TFC fans, I guess technically it's not a major sport in Toronto. I guess I don't know, but for the major sports teams, Blue Jays, Raptors, Leafs, as the Sports Talk channel goes, this is the first time since 1993 that, obviously, if they make it onto the finals, the first time in our lives we get to see a finals appearance. I mean, it's this is probably the most hyped game you and I have ever seen.
Yeah, and regardless how the outcome turns out, the Raptors are a team not to be messed with anymore. Like I'm sorry, I understand what other fan bases in the league are saying towards the Raptors fans, saying, this is Canada's team, that's why they have so many supporters. It doesn't matter. I honestly think this Raptors team and their fans is like a college town.
Yeah, that's what Drake said.
Yeah, it's quoted by Drake himself. And what Drake said about, we built this together. We did this together, coming from drafting our, who was it? Andrea Bargnani in 2006, first overall, to now. But look at the difference, right? Yeah. Like, it's just crazy how far we've came. And it wasn't easy, folks. It was not easy. We can make history tonight, and I'm the first person to say that I picked the Bucks in 6. I'm not going to lie, because the last podcast we did, they were down 2-1, or was it 2-0? It definitely was not 2-2. I think it was 2-0.
We did it on, the 16th, I think it was?
Last Thursday. So, yeah, they would have been down 2-0. Or was it 2-1?
Thursday. So they were down 1-0.
1-0. Oh.
And then they got crushed on the Friday to make it 2-0. Do you want to break down these games, actually, before we go on to Game 6 there tonight?
Let's break down the 2 Raptors wins here.
Okay.
The 3 Raptors wins, excuse me.
So, bottom line, you're going back home, down 2-0. I mean, every Raptor, we heard all over the place. We're hearing Bucks in 4. That's what we kept hearing after those 2 losses. You come back home, you grind, you fight. It ends up going to 2 overtimes. And the Raptors pull away with the 118-112 victory. Now, in the second overtime, Giannis fouls out. But with 6:14 to play in the fourth quarter, Lowry fouls out. And I'm not sure if it was in the first overtime or not. Powell fouls out. And those 2 guys were integral parts in that game. And they found a way to win in double overtime. It's a 2-1 series. It's still a long ways to go. Move ahead to Game 4. You got to find a way to even up the series, because then you go back to Milwaukee tied instead of down 3-1.
Yeah.
And they come out and they play an amazing game. They win by 18, 120, 102. And everybody showed up. You saw a lot of Marc Gasol. You saw a lot of Kyle Lowry.
Lots of Kyle Lowry.
And Serge Ibaka was an absolute tank. And you even up the series. Then you go back to Milwaukee on Thursday night. Again, every game from here on out is the biggest game in franchise history, but I think we could say that game, we always talk about Game 5, this series, being arguably a Game 7. Mm-hmm. You win that, you come home on Saturday for a possibility to book your ticket to the championship game, the championship series. You lose, your backs are against the wall, and then you'd have to play in Game 7 in Milwaukee. They go out there, and they win 105-99.
And the fact of the matter is, so I'm going back to Game 4 here. Kawhi Leonard didn't really have a good game. 19 points, 7 rebounds, 1 assist, 4 steals, 2 blocks. It's okay, but it's not Kawhi Leonard himself. Kyle Lowry and the supporting cast around Kawhi Leonard stepped up in that game. Now, apparently Kyle Lowry is dealing with some sort of hand injury that he's playing through, and that shows might. Now, I'm the first person to say that I doubted him all these playoffs, so I'm taking those back, and I'm saying, listen, this dude's a dog, and he is... If Kawhi Leonard is not performing well, he's the next guy that needs to step up, and he is stepping up.
Now you'd think it would be Pascal Siakam.
No, I don't think it's going to be Pascal.
It's not. No, because he's not shooting the ball well, and he's not shooting a lot in general.
I didn't even think it would be Pascal Siakam. Listen,
he's been your second scoring option the entire season.
This is a sophomore dude with little experience in the playoffs. You're talking about a 5-time All-Star in Kyle Lowry, who's been there, hasn't really done that, but has been there. I expect him to be the second option all season. Pascal took over the reins in the regular season, but in the playoffs, Kyle Lowry showed that he is the second scoring option, and that's how it should be.
Now,
Listen, this guy's no scrub.
It could have changed in the playoffs because of Pascal's injury that he had with his calf.
Lowry's injured.
All right, but there's a difference between a hand injury and a leg injury in basketball. I mean, look,
you're shooting with your hand.
And I get that. I don't think it's a shooting hand though. I think it's the other hand.
Regardless, both players are injured.
Agreed. But I think with Pascal, he's looking to be more of the facilitator, and he didn't get a lot of points in that last game, but I think he had like 6 assists in the game as well. So
but going to game 6 here, Kawhi Leonard, everybody was talking about how he's tired. He's dealing with some sort of injury that the Raptors medical staff is kind of ignoring here.
They're not ignoring anything.
Well, they're not ignoring anything, but they say that he's tired, and you know what? He should be. Any player performing up to Kawhi Leonard's stature right now is going to be pretty tired.
Right, and Kawhi Leonard did have a career-high 9 assists in Game 5.
That's his career high.
He's never had 10 assists.
I'm surprised.
And he had a couple steals, 7 rebounds. He was flirting with a triple-double, for God's sakes. I mean, really.
And how he's guarding Giannis right now is perfect.
Okay. So let's flip to Giannis here for a second. You just brought him up, and I have to...
Yep.
Is he really the MVP? There were statistics saying this. With shots that are 4 feet or closer to the basket, in the paint, basically, he's shooting like about 50-something%. That's what you expect, right? Anything out of the paint. So that's basically a jump shot or a 3.
Yeah.
19%. That is horrendous.
Yeah.
And we're talking about an MVP candidate here. Look, I hate to say this. I hate to say this.
Hold on. Is this stat from the playoffs or in the regular season?
It's this series.
It's
this series.
You can see because of the fact that you have listen, any person that Leonard is going to be guarding is going to have a hard time.
But if you're the MVP, you got to...
Well, yeah.
I'm sorry.
I agree.
Look, when you can't... Look, Giannis reminds me of a lot better Ben Simmons. A lot better. But I'm just saying, Ben Simmons can't shoot. He drives. And if he doesn't drive, he's terrible.
Right.
Well, Giannis has been abysmal this series because the Raptors are forcing him to shoot the ball. Yeah. They're forcing him to shoot.
And like I said before, last podcast, if you do not want to let this guy drive, if you do, it's an automatic basket. Let him shoot the ball. Don't go up for the pump fake. Stay down, guard him, put the hand in his face, whatever. Let him shoot. He's shooting. He's making not even half.
No, he's not. He's not playing like MVP Giannis.
Now, I think that we should give more credit to Kawhi Leonard rather than Giannis being not too good of a shooter. I think if anyone else was on Giannis, he would make more shots. That's just how it is if he was shooting the ball. Because since Kawhi's really in his face and really doubling down on him, I would consider this I wouldn't say a mismatch, but it seems like it is. Right? I thought that going into this series, okay, Kawhi Leonard on Giannis Antetokounmpo. That's pretty much going to even each other out. Both players are pretty much the same. Kawhi Leonard's defense and Giannis' ability to score. Now it's looking like Kawhi Leonard is the better player. Which I wasn't. No, defensively, but I wasn't expecting that. I thought it was going to be kind of back and forth equal. Now it's all Leonard.
We are learning in this series, and I'll say it again, that if Giannis does not get the drive...
Yeah.
He's not very good. He can't shoot at the free throw line.
No. air balls it.
He had 2 air balls in the. We had one in game. What was that? 3.
That's
and then one in game 4, and the 3 other misses he had barely skimmed the rim. And I'm like, this is the MVP. A guy who can't shoot the 3, who can't really shoot a jump shot too well, who can't shoot free throws. Yes, he can drive because he's an absolute tank. But, I mean, look, regular season numbers, okay, yes. But really, anybody can stat pad in the regular season.
Right.
Look at Russell Westbrook, for God's sakes. The guy does it on a game-to-game basis, and look where his team is.
Now, you mentioned MVP, most valuable player. Right. Now, if the Bucks didn't have Giannis, they would be sniffing 6th, 7th place, in my opinion.
If the Raptors didn't have Kawhi Leonard, where would they be?
Well, that's easy to say. I mean, they'd probably be, like you said, the same in around the 6th or 7th seed, I would imagine, as well. But I don't know. I think that Kawhi Leonard right now it's going to be pretty hard to match what Golden State is doing.
Well, I know where you're going. Are you going to the NBA Finals?
No,
already?
I'm not.
Okay.
I'm talking about MVP. We're talking about MVP here.
Right. Okay. I thought you brought Golden State, so I'm thinking Finals. And I'm like, oh, okay.
I'm talking about MVP here. Now, Golden State, obviously, they're doing a lot of work, a lot of banging. They just swept Portland, which I was kind of expecting. But, of course, they got Steph Curry over there. Durant's injured. He's not going to be even thinking about the finals whatsoever.
It doesn't sound like he might not even be there for the finals. And you just know it. If the Raptors do get to the finals, which we're all saying ifs right now because it's not official and all that, and let's say they beat the Golden State Warriors and win the championship, you know what we're going to hear every single day afterwards. Well, they didn't have Durant or Boogie. You know you're going to hear it.
Well, yeah, but that's just like anything. Like, even if Milwaukee wins the NBA, let's just say, or any team versus Golden State without Kevin Durant, we're going to say the same thing. Who cares?
But apparently they need 4 All-Stars to win a championship, apparently. No. I guess that's a thing, right?
No, they don't. But
no, of course not.
Anywho, going back to this series, because we're still not done with the Milwaukee Bucks.
So, I think the big... Now, you're talking about Kawhi against Giannis. It's not happening as often.
No, it's not.
When it does happen, Kawhi's shutting the door like it's nothing.
Yeah.
But Kawhi is guarding Chris Middleton. Mm-hmm. And Middleton has done nothing. Other than Game 4, where he dropped 30. But even in Game 4, the game was a wash. Yeah. So he's just knocking down jump shots when the Raptors aren't even trying. They're just trying not to get hurt at this point. He's just knocking down shots, but it didn't mean anything. In every single game, look, where is his numbers here? So Game 1, he had 11. Game 2, he had 12. Game 3, he played 44 minutes. He had 9 points. Yes, he had 30 points in 36 minutes in Game 4, but again, it was a meaningless ball game. Mm-hmm. And then in a big Game 5 at home, he had 6 points.
Yeah. I look at the deciding factor of this series, and obviously Giannis is Giannis, but other than him, I look at the bigs. Now, Brook Lopez, we all know what happened in Game 1, and was it Game 2 as well? Marc Gasol a new one.
Yeah, Game 1 he was good. Game 3 he wasn't bad. He had 16.
Other than those 2 games, really, he hasn't been, I wouldn't say nowhere to be found, but he is a streaky guy, and I think that Marc Gasol is doing a better job. I wouldn't say phenomenal, but a better job of shutting down Brook Lopez.
Look, Marc Gasol is protecting the paint.
Yeah, and that's what we got him for.
And a great example is in the last game against Giannis. There was one specific play where Giannis drove on him, and he bounced off Marc Gasol. He stood there, and he just took it off the chest, and it was a turnover. Raptors went the other way and got a couple points out of it. Marc Gasol has been an incredible player for this team, and I understand he's not putting up 30 and 15s like we were seeing from Jonas Valanciunas at the end of the year with Memphis. But you're 1 win away from the NBA Finals.
Who cares?
Why are people complaining about Jonas? Jonas ain't the defender Marc Gasol is.
Jonas is more of a guy who can, I wouldn't say you can necessarily build around, but can give you the offensive numbers of what Marc Gasol maybe did 5 years ago.
Right, but defensively,
it's a whole different
they're
ballgame.
not even close.
No, exactly. And I don't know who's complaining now because Memphis is... Ooh.
Well, now people aren't, but when the season was going and Jonas was hitting 30 and 15s and Marc Gasol was having a 6-point night and whatnot, yeah, people were getting angry. But now those people are cheering for Marc Gasol. So, but watching this team, and you want to get on Nikola Mirotic.
I want to get on
the guy's been terrible. I mean, look, other than one game where him, Ilyasova, I think that was Game 2, were on fire, they've been awful. They've been absolutely awful. Mirotic had where is it here in game 2? Yeah, he had 15, but he shot 5 of 10, knocked down a couple threes, and yeah, he sprinkled around 13 and 10 and 10. But the guy averages 15 a game.
Yeah, I mean, I'm shocked that he's not doing anything. So he's matched up with what, Serge? I'm guessing, or Pascal. Pascal. And Pascal's not known as a good defensive player. He's okay, but he's
not a bad defensive player.
Well, a massive block in games 5.
Against
Brooks.
Yeah. No, that was in game 3 in the double overtime where he blocked Brook Lopez.
You sure it was?
Yes, it was game 3 in the double OT. No, it was a big block there.
Right.
He did have a couple big blocks there in the game 5 as well. Again, he's been a very good defensive player. This entire Raptors team has been great defensively so far.
Yeah, I mean, nowhere's to be found with the Bucks. You just said, Eric Bledsoe is nowhere to be found. Mirotic is nowhere to be found. Malcolm Brogdon, I mean, really.
He was good in the last game, but again, it's funny. Game 4, Malcolm Brogdon did something I never expected him to do. Shoot 2 of 11. The guy is Mr. Consistent. The guy shoots 50% from the field, 40% from 3.
No, you can
90% from the line. It's incredible.
Right. And you can argue that other than Giannis, right now the Bucks' second best player is Brook Lopez.
I'd say Malcolm Brogdon.
Well, that's either Brogdon or Lopez, but you have Chris Middleton. You have Eric Bledsoe. Yeah, yep. You have all these guys that should be performing, but they aren't.
Yep. Middleton averaged for the season 18.3 points a night, and so far he's had in 3 of the 5 games he's been in double figures, and in 2 of those 3 games, they're under 15 points.
Look at Eric Bledsoe.
Yeah. Other than the last game where he caught fire early and was horrendous the rest of the game, he's been terrible.
No.
Eric Bledsoe can't shoot threes. That's what the Raptors have learned, and they're like, okay, you want to take some threes? Go ahead, but you ain't hitting them consistently.
No, exactly. And the performance of Fred VanVleet. So let's just get off the Milwaukee Bucks.
By the way, yes, exactly. Congratulations to Fred VanVleet for his newborn child before Game 4.
Congratulations.
And then he goes out in Game 4 and knocks down 13 on 5 of 6 shooting. Then he goes out in Game 5 and shoots 7 of 9 from 3. Knocks down 21.
7 of 9.
Incredible. He was incredible in Game 5.
Yep, and then in Game 4, 3 of 3.
The crazy stat was that Kawhi Leonard's 9 assists that he had in that game, all 9 assists were on 3-pointers.
I think for Fred, he's like Norman Powell. He needs to find his step because other than those 2 games, he's not looked good at all.
No, but again, look, it's in the big games that matters, right?
No, and this whole series is a big game. Every game is a big game.
Yeah, and they haven't been good in games 1 and 2, and then Game 3 he wasn't good. Then he had his kid, and then he shoots amazing in the next 2 games. And in the pivotal Game 5, when you needed your role players to be good in Milwaukee, he was making shots.
Yeah, this was a pivotal game in Milwaukee, and you did your job. Now you need to close it off because you do not want to go to Game 7 in Milwaukee.
No, you just don't.
No, so
I don't care if we won Game 5 in Milwaukee. I don't want to go there for Game 7.
You lost Game 1 and 2 in Milwaukee.
Right.
Simple as that.
The odds drastically change if you head back there for Game 7.
Like I said before, it's too good to be true that the Raptors are, I wouldn't say single-handedly beating the Bucks, but Brett's banking them pretty well because of, listen, if Eric Bledsoe, because he can catch fire whenever, they have players that can catch fire like that.
Now, the thing I've learned with Eric Bledsoe is that when he's not making his shot early, he's just bad the entire game. Now, in Game 5, he was on fire early on.
He's like Lowry.
Lowry's a lot better. Bledsoe was hot early on in the game, made a couple threes, and we're like, okay, this guy, what the hell's going on with him? Then in the second half, he probably didn't make a shot. Right. I mean, he's so inconsistent. Continuously let him shoot threes because he's not going to make them. And if he makes a couple in a row, he's going to miss the next 6. He's just not very good.
Yeah.
And look, I think we can all agree that this game tonight is going to be probably one of the most watched
ever. I mean,
you can't paint the picture any better. Saturday night, downtown Toronto,
basketball in Canada,
and looking to clinch, go into the NBA Finals.
Yeah.
I mean, you can't put it any better.
Well, you could if the Raptors win, but leading up to it, I hear you. Now, go on.
No, there was something I was going to mention. Go on.
Well, now I forgot what I was going to mention.
Okay, well, there
regardless, though, you can't paint the picture any better. The Raptors just got to do what they did in the last 3 games and just play basketball.
Now, I was just going to mention some stat. Milwaukee, this season, before this series, so in the playoffs and the regular season, had lost 2 games in a row, one time.
Yeah.
They were 22-1 after a loss. That is incredible.
Yeah.
Now, they've never lost 3 straight games.
Mm-hmm.
They have now done that. Raptors beat them 3 straight games.
Okay.
I mean, obviously, they've never lost 4 straight.
Mm-hmm.
If the Raptors can win 4 straight games against Milwaukee and eliminate them, it's
unbelievable.
It's nuts.
I know, especially on the biggest stage in all of Canada's watching.
To be honest, I mean, I would say most of North America is watching.
Well, I don't know. Well, yeah, watching, but I don't know if they're cheering for the Raptors most.
Well,
of
no,
North
but
America.
they're watching the game though.
Oh, for sure, because there's no more basketball to watch other than the series, right?
Right.
Now, speaking of no more basketball, let's go to the West. And the Golden State Warriors cleaning the floor with the Portland Trail Blazers. Now, I did say last podcast that they're going to be swept. I think you said Portland's going to win 1 at home. They got swept. Yeah. A little surprising that they didn't win at least 1. I know I said sweep, but Dame and McCollum didn't really show up.
When you look at Curry and Klay Thompson, and when they show up, and Lillard and McCollum don't,
ball game's over.
You're gonna lose.
Yeah,
the supporting cast for the Warriors is
not there.
It's not the Warriors. It is not. It's not great.
Warriors or Portland? You mean?
Well, I'd say for both. Look, other than Curry and Klay, who did they have? And
Draymond
had 18. He had a triple-double actually in that game.
Cousins is playing.
Alfonso McKinney, former Toronto Raptor, started that game in game 4. He had 12 points in that game.
We drafted him?
No, but he was on the team last year. Actually, he was one of the guys in the 905, kind of up and down, playing in the garbage minutes at the end. But he's not. Great,
I would love to see an upset, but who's really surprised about Golden State going to the finals once again? 4th straight year, I think.
So the Raptors, if you want to, if people love looking at numbers, and regular season stats, as we all know, are complete garbage. But the Raptors did beat Golden State both times. One was without Kawhi in OKC,
and I think one time they had it without Durant.
That was.
I'm pretty sure.
I don't think so.
I'm pretty sure.
Can you put money on that?
I will.
You can put money on Durant not playing. I remember
one game.
I remember the game he played in Toronto. He was on fire and it went into overtime.
But I remember we were talking about how the Warrior fans were saying, "Oh, well, we didn't have Kevin Durant that game."
Yeah, we didn't have. Maybe
all right, come on. $5 on the table.
No, you know what? I don't think he played against in OKC because I think that was actually the.
All right, so let's make a bet right here.
No, why would I do that? I just said you're probably right. Why would I make a bet now?
Probably. Am I right 100%?
I don't know. I'll have to look it up, but I'm not going to make a bet assuming that I'm wrong. Ooh. Why would I do that? I'm not stupid. God damn.
Oh, okay. All right. But
nonetheless, they didn't have Kawhi Leonard, and the Raptors cleaned the clock of the Golden State Warriors.
Oh, they did. I mean, it doesn't really mean that much.
No, it doesn't. And playoff, look, if we've seen it before with the Raptors against LeBron James in the regular season. Oh, they win a few games. All right, this is our year. Get swept.
Yeah.
You know, teams do it against Golden State. Golden State had the second best record in the Western Conference this year. They've destroyed the Western Conference in the playoffs.
Yeah, Jim. I mean, guys, we're going to wrap it up with the Raptors segment, then we'll go around the league here. But tune in, obviously, tonight. You should know. We're going to be watching the game.
Yeah, we are.
At the studio.
Yep.
At the studio. A couple buddies over, so it's going to be fun.
You wanted... It's okay.
Well, I wanted to talk about something.
Well, we were talking about Damian Lillard and McCollum and how they needed to be important for Portland to win that series. Damian Lillard did not touch 30.
I know, we know.
And Lillard... He only touched 25 once, and it was in the 3-0 deficit.
I know. I'm just saying he didn't perform that series. I know he did.
And C.J. McCollum, I'm just looking it up how he did there. He didn't do too bad, but again, neither guy touched 30. And then you go over to Klay, and you go to those guys, and they really dominated.
Yeah, exactly. So going to LeBron James, you just mentioned him. He's in contact. He is in contact with Kawhi Leonard. I think somebody else. Was it Kyrie?
I'm sorry. Isn't that tampering?
Yeah, that's what I was surprised about.
That's why I'm like, this is probably just some spiel to stir up some garbage.
Yeah,
that's what media loves to do.
Yeah.
And if that's a true report, someone's going to be done for tampering.
Yeah.
The season's going on. You can't, and it's in the playoffs. You can't talk to anybody. You can't physically go and talk to people. No one's going to say, oh, yeah, Kawhi's not going to say, "Oh yeah, LeBron just called me and asked me if I want to go to LA." Oh yeah, tampering, bud. See you later.
Yeah, I don't believe that.
It's not true.
No, I don't believe that, and I don't think that LeBron James, if he was going to do it, at least wait till the playoffs are done. And I mean, I don't look too much into it. I just wanted to know your opinion on it. It's not true. I don't believe it. I'm with you. But if he were to do it, don't fine him. LeBron James has a boat ton of money. Suspend him.
Yeah. Oh, fine him for $20,000. Great. That's pocket change for LeBron.
Exactly.
James.
Suspend him for all of the preseason in the home opener, right? If he did do that, which I don't think he did.
And look, so talking about tampering and the whole trying to recruit Kawhi Leonard. Your thoughts on Kawhi staying? Look, my personal feel is every win the Raptors get, I feel like it gets better and better. And the Raptors, like we've been hearing all over the place, right? Some guys trying to give Kawhi a free condo. We've been hearing about
a multi-million.
The Kawhi and Dine. You heard that thing? People put the little sticker on their business window, and Kawhi eats free there.
Listen, if this guy re-signs with Toronto, he won't have to buy a meal ever. For the rest of his life. Well, I would say for the rest of his time he's going to be here. But I don't know. I mean, I would love to say yeah for sure, and that would be the most logical answer. But I don't know.
But where would he go?
I know. I hear you, but I just don't know.
No one does really.
No one does.
Everyone talks with speculation, obviously.
Right, and right now I would love to say yeah for sure, and it looks like he is, but I don't know. Now, other teams that could be suitors for him would be the LA Clippers. You could maybe say the Lakers.
He doesn't want to play with LeBron.
Well, who knows if he does or not? Nobody knows. I'm just saying that other teams that could be suited for him would be those two. Somewhere's on the West Coast because that's where he's, grew up and from or whatnot. But for right now, let's not worry about that. Let's worry about the Milwaukee Bucks and the Golden State Warriors and winning an NBA championship.
Yeah.
Let's worry about that. Did we go through the draft lottery last podcast?
I don't think we did.
Are you sure?
Yeah, I don't think so.
Okay, well, New Orleans Pelicans with the first overall pick, they had a 6% chance of winning.
I'm assuming you saw all the reaction of Knicks fans.
Oh yeah, well,
when the Lakers got the fourth overall pick, and everyone's like, yeah, and then with the third overall pick, the New York Knicks. Oh,
well, we all know that the Knicks were going to be screwed over. I knew it from the start.
They're like the Buffalo Sabres of the NBA.
Yeah, or you can even say the Buffalo Bills too. Like it's not good back there in New York, and obviously you saw Stephen A. Smith's rant, which was hilarious.
I love Stephen A. Smith.
Oh, I know, I do too. But yeah, so another blown opportunity for the New York Knicks. But even if they would have got the first overall pick, they said that they would trade away him for Anthony Davis.
I think we talked about this because you talked about a possible trade, and then I asked you, right. Well, if once Zion gets picked by the Pelicans, does Anthony Davis decide to stay? We already talked about that in the last podcast.
Yeah. Well, this is awkward. But anyways, bottom line is the New York Knicks are an abomination.
So you got any hot takes for next year, bud? Yep. Knicks making the playoffs?
Knicks winning the championship. That's scorching.
Okay. Well, that's I mean, you're on the sun at this point.
So is there anything else you want to talk basketball, or are we gonna switch to Jays?
All I gotta say is that we've been waiting for this game now since Game 5 finished because we all thought you can't paint the picture any better.
Because this podcast is going to be up before the game starts. So, is there anything you want to say before the game starts? Because this might happen.
Raptor fans, hold on to your hats.
It's gonna be and Milwaukee.
I got a question for you. I'm gonna ask you right on the podcast because why not? If the Raptors win tonight, okay, you want to fly downtown and just why not?
Well, I was mentioning to you if you want to go to a bar here in Scarborough.
I'm talking go downtown and party with the fans.
Why not? I mean, you said that you wanted to stay in the studio drinking
to watch the game.
Oh, okay. After,
and when the game's finished, and if the Raptors win that game, and it's bedlam downtown.
So if the Raps lose, we go to a bar in Scarborough. But if the Raps win, we go downtown. Deal?
I don't know. We'll see how it goes.
Well, we'll see how.
I'm making a suggestion. That's all I'm asking.
I'm up for anything. Listen, I'll buy an Eric Moreland jersey if the Raptors win a championship.
You heard that here, folks. You heard that here first. Evan Brown, you heard him. All right. He will buy an. Look, that's almost. Oh, okay. He just shook my hand. I don't care. That's almost as bad as me saying if the Newfoundland Growlers.
Yeah, that's a $30 hat. This is a $120 Eric Moreland jersey.
You could probably buy it for $50 online. Is it Eric Moreland, baby? This guy.
If they win the championship, I'm buying an Eric
Just
Moreland.
buy a Jody Meeks jersey.
Or even a Bruno Caboclo throwback jersey.
Whoa, okay, wow. When he was like a draft day jersey or something?
With that hat?
And Lucas Nogueira with. Are you talking about Lucas?
Yeah. Who would I say?
Bruno
Caboclo. Oh, no. Lucas Nogueira. That's who I meant. Or Bruno, whoever.
You see that draft picture from Lucas Nogueira. He's got the poofy ass hair. And he's got the hat's just sitting on the hair. And I love that picture.
If the Newfoundland Growlers win the ECHL championship, you're getting a hat. Yes. If the Raptors win the NBA championship, we're going the same day. I'm getting an Eric Moreland jersey, and you're getting a Kawhi Leonard jersey.
Yeah.
Yeah,
you heard it.
So if he's not going to resign, but if they win the championship,
the Kawhi Leonard was the MVP, and he got us to the championship.
All right,
done, deal, shake hands.
Wow.
That's it. So you heard it here, folks. Oh god. But you know what? I'm okay with that.
I don't care. Listen, if the Raptors win the championship, that's going to be unfathomable, like unbelievable. I don't care if I have to drop $150 on a Raptors jersey.
On an Eric Moreland jersey.
I'll be the talk of the town. I remember when I got my David Clarkson jersey, everyone was shaking my hand. They were and then when he sucked,
they're chirping you hard then at that point.
Yeah, exactly.
Remember back in the day, we went down to the Square for Game 7 against Boston, back in the dreadful Game 7.
Oh, 2013.
Yeah, and you wore my Joe Colburn Marlies jersey.
Yeah, and then you wore the Phil Kessel.
Oh my, that's a throwback. But if Kessel was on the team at the time.
No, wait, weren't you wearing the Toskala shirt?
No, I was not wearing that. I would not dare wear the Vesa Toskala t-shirt.
Which doesn't even fit you anymore.
No, of course not.
Can't believe you actually got one of those.
All right, let's move on now. We were talking about hockey and Vesa Toskala, so let's get to hockey.
Well, how about baseball or hockey?
Do you want to get to... You know what? Yeah, let's go to baseball. Because the Blue Jays suck, but...
Vladimir Guerrero Jr. does not suck.
He's been playing great lately. His last couple games have been a little shaky, but again, lately he's been very good. He now has 5 home runs with the Blue Jays, and they aren't just like wall-scraping home runs either. He's plastering these baseballs.
And that's what we expected every Jays player to kind of suck other than Vladdy.
Yeah.
Or the team in general.
Just yesterday, Kevin Biggio got called up, and he got his Major League debut yesterday.
Wasn't it somebody else too?
Lourdes Gurriel Jr. got called back up.
I thought it was somebody else.
No, he got called up.
So 2 players from AAA.
Yeah, and there was a lot of roster moves yesterday. Yeah. It was crazy.
Yeah.
But seeing Lourdes Gurriel Jr. come back, and in his first game, he struggled. His struggles at second base were a really big thing. Mm-hmm. It was a short, because he's so used to playing shortstop and the left side of the infield.
He was great last year.
Yeah, he really was. On the defensive end, he was kind of a little shaky, but the Jays know what they have when it comes to shortstop in the minor leagues, Bo Bichette. So, when it comes to Lourdes Gurriel Jr., he would have to make the transition to second base. Now, that was a really big issue so earlier on in the year. There was a play, and I think it was kind of like the turning point in the game, or really in the season for him at that point, was a little ground ball at the second base.
Right.
It was like you could even underhand throw to Smokey at first. But he throws overhand and throws a wide throw to first from like a 15 feet throw. And
maybe he's a bit rusty. Well, he has to be rusty.
He wasn't confident. He was not confident. So after that play, he gets pulled from the game, more or less for his mental standpoint. And then after that game, he gets sent down to AAA. Yesterday was his first game back up. He played in left field. He looked comfortable out there. And because even with the whole second base thing being an issue, he was only hitting 175, which is really bad.
But see,
and last year he was so good. He didn't hit a home run. He was really having a tough time. Comes up yesterday, hits a home run.
But see, if his confidence was down, don't send him to AAA. Let him learn and let him figure out.
They were trying to do that though, and it was not working.
Oh, it wasn't working.
No.
How many days was he up with the Jays?
It was
how many games?
Because
it seems like it was just 2 games or so.
No, it was definitely more than 2 games. Let's see if he's playing today. He is playing today, so I can check that out. So he played 13 games to start the season.
Yeah.
He was only hitting 175. He didn't hit a home run. He was having a tough time defensively. Give the guy a chance to go down there in AAA, be out of the spotlight, let him hit, let him play these different positions, get used to it, and then come back. And he played 6 weeks down there in AAA. And then he came back up yesterday, played left field, got like 2 or 3 balls out there, looked pretty confident, looked pretty comfortable out there, and he had a home run.
Yeah.
His first one of the year. Great to see.
I mean, it's like Vladdy in the sense where he has to get a few hits under his belt. First base hits, and then once he gets those base hits, home runs start coming in, and then we see the player like he was last year. And for Vladdy, it was the same thing. He struggled at first, then he got a couple base hits, whatever, and then he started to get the home runs going. And now he's going to be a superstar. Yeah, he is not. Listen, Vladimir Guerrero Jr. is not going to falter one bit.
The reason you know that is because even his outs now are to the warning track. Like, I mean, my God. A fastball out of the zone that he hits off the end of the bat goes to the warning track. Imagine if it's an inside pitch and he gets barreled a baseball. It's going 430 feet. I mean, it's incredible to watch this kid play. His bat speed is remarkable. Because a home run against, who was it? I think it was the White Sox. Kelvin Herrera. Back in the day, he played for Kansas City back in 2015 when we played them in the series. And he's fantastic. He throws 99. He throws straight gas. Vladimir Guerrero Jr. got a 99-mile-an-hour fastball on the not even a strike on the inside half.
Yeah.
It was way in, and he turned on it and hit out of the ballpark. A 20-year-old turned a 99-mile-an-hour fastball, not even a strike in the inner half, and crushed it into the seats for a 2-run shot. Incredible.
The Austin Matthews of baseball.
Basically the Connor McDavid.
The Zion Williamson of basketball.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
I mean, it's crazy, and he's living up to the hype. And I think we had our doubts.
I didn't have my doubts.
Well, we were a bit worried.
Not really.
We said on the podcast we were a bit worried.
Not really. I knew it was going to come around. We all knew it was going to come around.
Well, yeah, but at the time,
he played like 10 games. I was never worried about the kid. You see the talent. You know what he can do.
I could play back the podcast.
You can do so right. Go ahead, right away.
Okay.
You're really going to try and find them on one certain podcast, and in the hour and a half podcast that we do, you're trying to find like a certain moment.
I mean, you just said that.
I never said okay. I'm starting to get worried with Vladdy. There was no worry about Vladimir Guerrero Jr. The guy's fine. You saw the outs that he hit were hard, and that's how you knew there was going to be a point where he was going to catch fire. And
I think this was a podcast question, to be honest with you, a couple weeks ago. Regardless, Vladimir Guerrero Jr., like you said, is something special. And there's really, other than him, I mean, really, there's not much to really talk about. I mean, we could talk about, do you want to talk about Stroman?
Well, Kevin Biggio in his first game had 2 strikeouts, but the pitcher, look, yesterday's pitcher was really funky, and he was a lefty. It was a really weird first kind of face in your big league kind of, in your big league debut, I guess. And he had a couple strikeouts, didn't get a hit. But you know what? For Kevin Biggio, he's a lefty that can hit a lot of home runs. And he's only 24 years old. He's got a lot of great talent. Again, this team is getting younger and younger by the day. And at one point, when Bo Bichette kind of comes back from his injury and plays a little bit in AAA, and if he has some success, it wouldn't surprise me if he gets called up by the end of the year. And the Blue Jays infield will look like Rowdy Tellez, Vladdy, Bo, and Biggio. Ideally, the infield of the next 10 years for the Blue Jays, if not more.
What's there to say, really? So is there anyone else you want to talk about with the Blue Jays other than their
You wanted to mention
struggles?
Marcus Stroman, and I've loved what Marcus Stroman has done lately. And I hate the Boston Red Sox for coming out and talking trash with Stroman. Look, first off, you won the World Series. Second of all, you're a much better team than Blue Jays. And when he's out there dealing, why do people get angry when he does a little shimmy or he gets a little fired up in a game? Man, let the kid play.
I think it's more if he only did that on the field, but he does it online as well. And I don't like that one bit. Listen, you can perform how you want, and if you're performing well, like Stroman has somewhat this season, then okay. But if you're talking trash online, I don't like that one bit. And he needs to tone it down on Twitter because, listen, I don't know. Every single false news outlet surrounding him, he comments on it. Are you really going to waste your time? Yeah. That's why I am not a Marcus Stroman fan whatsoever.
I really am.
But that's just me. But you can agree with me on the sense where if something wasn't portrayed well online, he comments about it.
Yeah.
You're too big for this, Marcus. Worry about baseball, not social media. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So for Marcus, I mean, look, you want to talk, online and all that stuff. He is what he is. I mean, it's the way he is. It's the way he's always been.
This is how a 22-year-old, 23-year-old not a veteran. But that's just me. Listen, Marcus Stroman is performing well. I'll give him credit, but the dude needs to tone it down online. But that's my opinion.
Now, pitching-wise, he's been fantastic.
I know. That's what I just... Yeah.
Against the Boston Red Sox, he was incredible. He went 6 innings, gave up 5 hits, 1 run. He walked 6, which was an issue. But again, only giving up 1 run against a very good offense of the Boston Red Sox is awesome.
Oh, yeah.
It's absolutely awesome.
Especially when the Boston Red Sox are struggling at the moment. I mean, have they come back to form a little bit?
They're back to like 4 games over 500, 3 games over 500. They're playing much better
The
lately.
Baltimore Orioles are 15-36.
They're terrible. They're back to where they were last year. Downright awful.
Minus 110.
They've played 51 games, and they're minus 110. The Blue Jays have been awful. They're minus 38. Put that into perspective for you.
They're 1-9 in the last 10.
They're terrible. They're awful.
Is Adam Jones signed yet?
Yeah, he's I think he's on a national league team, if I'm not mistaken. But I'm not too sure. I think he might be.
So do you want to talk about Dallas Keuchel and the Rays looking to pursue him? Have you seen much of it?
Look, Tampa Bay is a team that probably has some money when it comes to their, I would say, cap room or whatnot, because they obviously have a lot of young players that are not making a whole lot of money, and they're playing. They're all right now. I think they're 2.5 back of the Yankees for the AL East lead. 2.5 back, there it is, yeah. And the Yankees are playing great baseball, and it's crazy because they're all injured like crazy. Are the Yankees? Yet they're kicking everyone's rear. They're 9-1 in their last 10. It's
as
awesome.
expected.
Yeah.
As expected. Is there anything else you want to talk about with the Jays, or do you want to?
I mean, look, we can go through minor leagues if we want, but I do that in every single video now because there's not much else to talk about when it comes to the Blue Jays. But
listen, just keep going and
keep growing, young kids. Keep growing.
That's all you can really say.
That's really all it is.
So I guess we can go on to hockey with the Leafs, and there's really not a lot to talk about.
We're going to be grabbing at straws for hockey.
Well, the one thing that did happen was the Leafs' former assistant coach, DJ Smith, left to go to the Ottawa Senators, and great. Good on him, and thank goodness that he's not running our power play anymore. Because I'm sorry, that power play ran by him. He was the power play specialist or whatever you call it.
They were awful in the playoffs and down the stretch.
They were awful. Okay, the first 2 months they were great, and then other than that, they were middle of the road.
They were great for the first few months. Then teams realized what the Leafs were doing on every single power play, and they closed that off, and the Leafs just didn't do anything different.
Wasn't Patrick Waugh going to the Sens? I heard that. Maybe he yelled at somebody on the way to the Senators.
And he's like, "Yeah, no, we don't want this guy.
So yeah, DJ Smith, all the best to him. And to
replace DJ Smith, they name Paul McFarland. I think he's like a Toronto boy, actually.
OHL head coach of was it the Frontenacs or the Spitfires?
Go down here.
He's only 33.
Had spent the previous 2 seasons as an assistant coach with the Florida Panthers. Prior to joining the Panthers, he spent 3 seasons as a head coach of the Kingston Frontenacs in 2014 through 2017.
Right, with his record of 111, 71, and 22. That's pretty good.
Again, the OHL, it's different.
Yeah,
they go through their ups and
that's
downs.
some stat, right? So I'm not going to look much of it. I'm a little surprised that Sheldon Keefe didn't get the call up. I'm not going to lie. I thought he would have gotten an assistant coach role this year.
I think they just really like him down there with the young kids.
But what more can he do? He already won a championship last year.
He can grow the young kids that are still learning down there. The guys like Jeremy Bracco, the guys that are coming out of the OHL into the Toronto Marlies. Look,
well, that's not Jeremy Bracco. Jeremy Bracco's gonna have a spot next year on the Leafs.
Yes, but I'm talking about guys.
Are you talking about Sandin and who's that guy we drafted last year? Oh no, that was Sandin.
All the minor leaguers that are kind of Korshkov next year, or guys like that who are going to be coming over from.
How is he doing other than that one goal?
The Marlies, they've been struggling lately. I think they're now down 3-2 in the series to the Charlotte Checkers.
I thought they won yesterday and they tied it up.
No, they lost 4-1 yesterday.
Oh, I guess that goal was game 4 to tie it up, and then they lost. Well, the Charlotte Checkers, like you said, everyone from Carolina is going down to Charlotte. Like everybody that could.
Even Charlotte won 51 games this year. And the Marlies,
with the addition of the Carolina Hurricanes, their roster, some are being sent down to the affiliate.
I would assume so, yeah.
So yeah, but listen, they won last year. So yeah, but I mean, really, it's it's tough right now because we look at next year and we can talk all we want about the fourth line. We can talk all we want about the defensive mishaps, whatever. Listen, let's focus on the Marlies, and we can only hope for the Marlies.
Yep.
And I mean, that's really it. I mean, is there really much to discuss?
Well, I mean, I guess we can have a look at Liljegren, and you want to look at the defensive prospects, how they're doing in the playoffs for the Marlies?
Sure.
Like Timothy Liljegren, how's he doing with the Marlies in the playoffs? He's got 5 assists in 12 games down there in the playoffs so far. Hey, you know what? That's actually not too bad, considering he had 15 points in 43 games in the regular season.
Apparently, he's not good in his own end whatsoever.
Well, again,
I'm not hearing good things really about him.
No, I'm not either, but you never know. You really never know. And Rasmus Sandin, how's he done in the playoffs so far? 10 assists in 12 games. For Rasmus Sandin, 10, it's an incredible job down there for the youngin there. He's been doing great things.
Yeah.
Where is it here? Jesper Lindgren. This guy he was one of the guys that got drafted by the Leafs. Oh gosh, when was this?
Oh my gosh, 2014?
Was that when it was?
I think so. I think that was the William Nylander draft. Wow.
Something along those lines. But yeah, he has 2 assists in 3 games in the playoffs so far. Again, right-handed defenseman down there in the AHL. And who was the guy that Dusak, I think it was. The guy that
Jordan Dusak? Jeremy Dusak?
Joseph
Dusak.
I think he's got 1 goal in 4 games so far. Again, a guy that another right-handed defenseman down there with the Marlies.
So yeah, I mean, right now we're kind of picking up straws with the Leafs. So let's get off the Leafs organization and let's talk about the Stanley Cup Finals. The St. Louis Blues versus the Boston Bruins, a rematch of 50 years in the making. Now, if you do not know, this same series 50-odd years ago was the goal that Bobby Orr scored against St. Louis. Yep. The picture-perfect flying goal in overtime to win it for the Boston Bruins. Now, before we talk about the Stanley Cup Finals, let's talk about how they got there. St. Louis winning in 6 games against the San Jose Sharks. Wow. I mean, I think this... If you're the San Jose Sharks, what do you do from here?
You're probably going to lose Erik Karlsson. I think we can.
You're probably going to lose. There's one more guy up free agency. Who is it? Is it Kevin LeBlanc? I don't know.
That'd be a tough loss.
Well, both of them really, but
Eric Jumbo Joe's just getting older now.
Yeah. With Erik Karlsson, do you really expect a team to give him $11 million? I mean,
especially after what he did in that round. I understand he was hurt. I get it, but
I mean, points wise, he's still up there. But I don't look at the first 2 years of his new contract. I look at the rest.
Yeah, of course you do.
He's not the same Erik Karlsson with all those injuries to his legs. I mean, people like
was it the Matt Cook one that he got in the back of the leg that put him out the entire season?
Matt Cook. I think there was another leg injury too. Not too pretty. In this season, he was injured for pretty much, I wouldn't say half, but a quarter of the season. I should know. I have him on fantasy.
And then clearly he wasn't good in that. Look, I think it was in the 5-1 loss or something. He got beat to a puck.
Oh yeah,
Erik Karlsson does not get beaten to pucks.
He doesn't know how to turn left. Like he gets beat like that. He can't skate backwards anymore. Like it's bad. I mean, in his defending, he's not good. Okay, sure, he can put up points on the power play. He has a shot. He can skate forward. But, I mean, come on, you know? So
keep sticking with the St. Louis and Boston Bruins finals. I'm going to be blatantly honest with you. I don't really care about this series because
I do.
The Toronto Raptors are almost in the NBA finals, and I have not watched a single piece of hockey since the Leafs got eliminated.
Well, no, I haven't either, but this is the hockey segment. We're talking about hockey here.
Look, I mean, I think I could talk for every Toronto fan out there. Let's go St. Louis.
Yeah, I agree.
I mean, honestly.
Well, and just seeing Alex Steen, Tyler Bozak, Carl Gunnarsson, and Roman Polak.
No, he's not in St. Louis anymore.
Oh, I think there's one more guy.
He was on Dallas this year. Was Polak?
There's one more guy. Was it? Wasn't Joey Crabbe? Who was it?
Joey Crabbe. So obviously Tyler Bozak. Yeah.
Jordan. No.
Alex Steen, yeah, we know about him. Chris Thorburn, they got him from Winnipeg.
No, he wasn't on the Leafs.
I know, but Carl Gunnarsson. No,
that's it. So there's 3. Okay, yeah,
3 Leafs and a lot of Canadians.
And Boston's been sitting for a long time.
Yeah, they swept
Carolina,
and then St. Louis went 7. So,
no, 6.
Oh, okay,
yeah. But still, I mean, Boston's been sitting for 11 days, more than a week.
Yeah, it's a long
So
time
is
to
that
sit.
gonna hinder their performance?
Well, game 1 goes on Monday.
And you know what's gonna happen. It's gonna be the same scenario, game 7 in Boston, and you know who's gonna have that same goal that Bobby Orr did? Brad Marchand. It's gonna happen. He's gonna it's probably gonna happen.
Wouldn't surprise me in the slightest.
After the playoffs that the Boston Bruins are having, pains me to say it, but it might happen.
Yeah, again, it wouldn't. Look, I'm cheering for St. Louis, but my mind is telling me Boston's going to win it.
Yeah.
And if you're a Leaf fan, you sit here and say, well, we're the only team who took them 7. We're the only team who gave them any really big fight.
Well, I mean, you can't say that because of St. Louis, but up until
So far,
now, yeah.
that's what I mean.
Oh, yeah, so far, exactly. But, yeah, it still stings.
It's grabbing at straws.
It still stings.
Of course it does.
Right?
It's not going to stop stinging until we do something about it.
Yeah, I just love to see Tyler Bozak lift the cup, man.
Oh, wouldn't that be great? Good for him, man. Back in the day, Phil Kessel.
He has 5 goals in the playoffs.
He's been great.
And you know who's been great but couldn't finish it? Logan Couture had what? Almost 15
he was
goals?
amazing
Almost
in the
15
playoffs.
goals.
Yeah, he was
And
incredible.
I looked this stat up. Okay, what do you think's the record for playoff goals ever?
I don't know, like 25 maybe?
18.
18. Okay, there you go. 18.
But I
Couture
was
had
shocked
15,
about. I know. I was
and
shocked
they
about
only got to
that.
Game 6 of the Eastern Conference Finals.
I know. I was shocked about that, and I think it was Joe Sakic who did it, not Gretzky or Lemieux.
Wow, that's
But
incredible.
I think this is by a winger. Yeah, not a center. Sorry, a winger.
Right.
A winger. But 18 goals, man. That's
It's a lot.
I know it is a lot. Is there anything else with hockey you want to talk about? So you're saying Boston in 7, and I'm gonna say.
I didn't say Boston.
Oh,
7 at
you
all.
didn't?
I'm
Oh.
going to say Boston in. I'm going to say Boston in 6.
Ugh. Oh my God!
Your mind is saying I want to pick St.
Yeah,
Louis, but
yeah.
your body's telling you now
Me
Boston's
and
probably going to
you
win
were
it.
thinking the same
Yeah.
thing right now. Yep. You know what? I'm gonna say Boston in 6 as well. Congrats to the Bruins. I mean,
Another Boston team.
doing Boston things. Gotta love it.
We're the Celtics. Yeah, I'm sorry. That's
it.
That's the only argument we got now.
And then Boston can say, "We're the Leafs. We're the."
Or the Toronto Sports Teams championships.
Yeah,
there
there
we go.
So I guess we're gonna go to the podcast questions here.
we'll
A little
go
bit
to
of shorter episode, but it is gonna be a fun night. We gotta get ready. We gotta get the drinks flowing. Whatever you're into, we gotta get them ready. I know for us, it's gonna be an alcohol beverage at points. And I did tweet out that the Newfoundland Growlers hat is on sale for $30. $30.
Sale for 30. Was it regularly $50?
Probably. Well, no, I think it's like 40. But this is the premium mesh hat.
All right. So for the podcast questions, what?
Well, I was trying to show you the.
I saw the like that's a good hat right there.
It's like a hound.
Supporting the Leafs, somewhat,
Well, you're supporting Newfoundland,
and the Leafs, because.
or is it Newfoundland? Newfoundland? I don't know.
Anyways, let's get to the actual questions now, and we only have a few here. True Aaron says, "What do you think the Raptors' mentality is going into Game 6?" Which you could say is kind of like a Game 7 for us. That exactly what you just said right there. I think is going to be their mentality. They don't want to go back to Milwaukee,
And Milwaukee doesn't want to lose. They're going to come out flying. So, they are going to come out with everything they got. Their backs are against the wall. Their season is against the wall right now.
Leaf fans, we know what happened there.
Exactly.
Leafs had a 3-2 lead at home for Game 6.
Same thing as the Raptors, and then they lost 2 games. I mean,
They lost Game 6, and we were not confident going into Game 7 against the Bruins, and clearly we were our feelings were correct. Yeah. So for the Raptors, you end this thing tonight. You got to come out with every sort of urgency, and you got to pound on these guys early. Don't let them breathe, and just beat them into the ground and move on to the finals. Yeah.
Simple as that.
That's really... Roderick says, what is the bigger moment in Toronto sports, Bautista bat flip or Kawhi's buzzer beater? I mean, my personal thought is it's the Kawhi buzzer beater. It's a Game 7. You miss that shot, it goes into overtime, and you never know what happens from there.
Hold on. Okay, importance of the actual moment, Kawhi Leonard's buzzer beater. But the emotion...
It doesn't say emotion. It's a bigger moment, it says. Kawhi's shot.
Okay, well, regardless, I'm going to say the importance of the game, Kawhi's shot, but the emotion, Bautista's bat flip. It's hard, right? Because Bautista's bat flip, sure, it was
the emotion for the entire inning. The off the choose bat to,
and it was louder than the Kawhi buzz, but the more people there.
I don't know. They were both
tough.
really loud. And obviously, different size arena and more people.
You know what?
Center,
Personally,
I say Kawhi Butter. Look, I'm a huge Jace fan, and I continuously watch that Bautista flip over and over again. Not as much anymore.
And that didn't even eliminate, or no, it did. It did eliminate.
Technically, it did, but they did have to play a few more innings after that, so it did in a sense.
I'm going to say Kawhi's.
I'm going to say it as well. Yeah. You do not shoot that ball and have it bounce 4 times and have everyone just sit here in awe and on the broadcast. You hear the ball bounce on the rim. Yeah. That tells you how silent it was in there for that fraction of a second that it bounced on the rim.
Boom.
And then it goes in, and it's pure elation, and you move on to the Eastern Conference Finals.
And just knowing it was Kawhi Leonard who shot the ball, like, okay, if it was Freddie VanVleet, sure, it'd be nice, but, it's kind of a nobody. But for Kawhi Leonard to do it, more of a reason why he should stay.
Yeah. Moments like that.
Exactly.
Love it. Aiden Foley, how many games have you been to for each of these teams? Jays, Raps, Leafs, Marlies, Argos, TFC, etc. And for both of us. Let's start with the latter and kind of move forward. So TFC.
0. I have not been to TFC.
I think I've been to like 3.
Okay.
Obviously,
I want to go to one, honestly.
Dad being British and everything, got to get tickets for that.
It seems like a good vibe, especially how they have the new stadium now. Well, the revamped stadium. I guess that was a couple years ago.
It's nice down there. I mean, I enjoy going down. Argos 1, and it was a long time ago.
I don't think I've been to an Argos game.
There you go. Marlies. Oh boy, I don't know how many Marley games. How many?
Okay, well let's just start for me because I know me and you went to them back in the day a lot. I want
to say 20 for my lifetime. Probably about 20 games.
I want to say 6 or 7 for me.
There you go. Leaf games. Oh,
for you, it's
God. There's quite a few Leaf games. I'm gonna say
probably
15.
Yeah, for me,
maybe.
No, probably more than that.
Been in more Leaf game than Marley games.
I think because I go to like 3 a year.
I know, but you go. Well, yeah, but you go back in the day when Greg Scott, when Mike Zigomanis and all that. I was going to those games quite often for the Marlies. So
well,
I don't
you should know you're the best for you. But I'm gonna say so for you. What 15?
I'm gonna say about 15. Yeah.
I'm gonna say 9 for me.
Okay.
8 or 9.
And Raptor games, I'm gonna say, oh my goodness, I'm gonna say about 5 or 6.
See, this is where I got you beat. I think.
Yeah, you do.
I think I went to about 10 or 11. This is when they had the. It wasn't purple. It was with Chris Bosh and the actual claw, the red claw. In the middle of the court. Yeah.
Gotcha.
But Aiden, thank you for your question and thank you for listening.
And he said Jays.
Oh. Right.
I've been to way too many Jays games to know. I'm going to say 30, 40, maybe.
For me, probably around 12 to 15.
There you go.
I'm thinking about that. Well, thank you, Aiden, for your question, and thank you very much for
We
listening.
didn't have any questions from Blue Jays Wave on Instagram, and nothing from him this week. He didn't have any questions for us.
But next Thursday should be the day?
Yeah. Yes, next Thursday should be the day for the podcast, yeah.
So, guys, thank you for listening to episode 20 of the Teal Sports Talk podcast. Go Raptors! Go Raptors!
Baby.
We'll be back next
Game 6.
Next week we'll be back, and listen, enjoy the game. Don't piss your pants too much. I know I will.
I will be. I'm gonna have I'm gonna put a diaper on before we go. Yeah,
full diaper for both of us. But yeah, anyways, guys, thank you for listening. You wanna do the outro?
Well, I mean, Raptor fans, here we go. It's Game 6. It's the moment we've been talking about since Game 5 ended. We wanted to end this thing on home court. It's a Saturday night. The Raptors are looking to punch their ticket to the NBA Finals tonight. It is going to be bedlam downtown if this team wins tonight. All right, so hang on to your hats. Wear your diapers like we are. And I will talk to you guys, I guess, later tonight. Jay's Edition, they're actually on in about 20 minutes, but the video will be uploaded later tonight, guys, as Jays play Game 2 of the 3-game set against the San Diego Padres. Edwin Jackson on the mound for the Blue Jays today against Mississauga, is it Mississauga native? Or Port Hope native Cal Quantrill. So there you go. That's the pitching matchup today. And for the Toronto Raptors, guys, we all know what's going on tonight. Game 6 of the Eastern Conference Finals against the Milwaukee Bucks. Let's eliminate these guys and get to the NBA Finals. All right, so thank you guys so much for listening. And Evan and I will talk to you guys next Thursday.
Peace.